Hi there, it's Lisa Chell with Modern Vegan Family, and we are here with another great interview today with a fabulous lady, and you'll start to realize that I make a lot of my friends on social media, as do probably many vegans, and I met Chloe of Chloe's Clean Cuisine on Instagram. She is an amazing young woman. She's got a great little vegan business running out of her, I think it's out of your home. Hey, Chloe, are you running your business, your catering business?
It's out of a certified kitchen. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And Chloe is actually here today to talk to us about one of her passions, which is whole food, plant-based living, and maybe how to take the intimidation. I mean, already we understand it can be intimidating for people to go into whole foods, but I think Chloe's going to help take some of the intimidation out of cooking and eating whole food plant-based. But first, Chloe, I want to ask you to share with our viewers your vegan journey, your vegan story.
Sure. Hi, everyone. As Lisa said, I'm Chloe, and I'm really excited to be here today with you all. My journey started about years ago, and it actually started when I picked up a book called Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and it was the day, I guess it was less than 2.5 years ago, so 2 years ago, Thanksgiving, and I had had some cognitive dissonance about what I had been eating, and I picked the book up, and that was the day that I gave up animal products, and I haven't looked back since. A few weeks later, I saw the movie Forks Over Knives, and that really solidified my journey. So I'll back up a little bit. After I finished college, I was about 60 pounds heavier than I am right now, and eating a whole foods plant-based diet has totally changed my health, my perspective, my energy. I got rid of some skin conditions, and I just overall feel like a totally different person, and it's shown me what I'm passionate about in life, and I want to use that to empower others on this journey. So I'm really excited to be here with you all today.
So Chloe, I know you have some education, some background that's, you're not just talking only from life experience, which, by the way, your life experience is pretty phenomenal, dropping 60 pounds and clearing up conditions. I mean, that's a whole other interview I think that you and I are going to do sometime. But you have some education as well in nutrition and plant-based living. So talk a little bit about how you got into that and how it has really fueled you to share whole food, plant-based with others.
Sure. So in May, I actually finished up my master's degree in nonprofit management, and while I was in my master's program, that's when I developed this passion for a whole food plant-based diet. So I finished up my master's program, which is not, I'm going to definitely use a lot that I learned in it, but I definitely want to go the route of having plant-based nutrition as my career. So I wanted more education, and I took the eCornell Plant-Based Nutrition Certificate program over the summer, and now I'm certified in plant-based nutrition. So I have a lot more of the science background that can back up all of these fantastic claims that a plant-based diet can treat, prevent, and reverse many of our chronic diseases that so many people unfortunately face in our country.
So Chloe, some people might not even know what you mean by whole food, plant-based. I mean, there's so much food confusion out there that even just saying that, it's kind of like a buzzword, but I bet you a lot of people don't even know what classifies as whole food. So give us a little information on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a whole food plant-based diet is a diet centered around fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, whole grains, and beans and legumes. So that's pretty much okay. There's so much variety. It sounds like there's not a lot, but I eat more of a variety than I used to eat. And I also eat more quantity-wise than I used to eat. It's definitely not a deprivation diet. It's a lifestyle, and it's just based on whole foods. So minimally processed, not refined, things that don't really come in packages. So when you're reading like an ingredients list, if you can't pronounce or recognize an ingredient, then it's not a whole food. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Now, I'm sure that because so many of us throughout our lifetime, and certainly I went through this in some degree, indoctrinated to picking up packages and having convenience foods, and certainly for a long period of time, grocery stores were really, really pushing people on the convenience of just stopping by the store and picking up something out of the deli, or picking up these prepackaged lasagnas or prepackaged meals. And that really took, I think, people so far away from cooking themselves and understanding whole foods, that coming back to it, I bet you face a lot of questions, and I'm sure you faced some resistance, some, oh, I could never, or oh, that's too much work. Talk a little bit about some of the things that people might resist and how you actually find it easy, or you can make it easy for them to transition to whole food, plant-based.
Yeah, so it can be really daunting when you're first starting. What I suggest is replacing just one meal a day with a whole food plant-based meal. So that can be, breakfast is pretty easy to do. You can just make a smoothie or oatmeal, or often when it's in season, I just have a big bowl of fruit, which is really fun. And my favorite smoothie recipe in the morning, I use some soy milk, a little water, greens, usually spinach, berries, banana, and then maybe some cinnamon and vanilla. And you blend that up, maybe with a little almond butter. There's so many recipes out there. It's really easy to find. Whole Foods smoothies are really simple. So I would suggest starting with breakfast. A lot of questions I get is, how much time do you spend in the kitchen? Because this is my chosen career, I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. But when it's just me making food for myself and my fiance, I make a big pot of grains for the week. So it'll be either quinoa or brown rice or something like that. And then I'll make a big pot of beans for the week. I'll chop up some veggies, and then I'll make a dressing for the week. So throughout the week, I've already pretty much done a lot of the work. Throw a stir fry together, or a curry, or, I mean, rice and beans is one of our favorite meals. And it's really simple once you've done a lot of the work up front. So it's not as intensive as people think. You just have to plan ahead.
I agree, actually. You know, I've always spent a lot of time in the kitchen, and I find that my food is more colorful, it's more vibrant, it's more tasty, and I actually take less time to cook because I don't have to think about whether the meat is cooked long enough or any of that. And sometimes I just find it easier, way easier on many levels. If you were going to share with people that that one go-to meal that you think, this is so kick butt, it's always good, it's easy, what would be your favorite whole food go-to meal?
I think the most delicious and easy meal that I use pretty much every week is tacos, because you can switch it up and make them totally different, but they're really simple to make. I get the corn tortilla shells from Trader Joe's, which just have corn, water, and lime as the ingredients. And I heat up the tortilla so it's more pliable. And then you can throw in a bean spread or hummus, any kind of veggies you want, maybe a little salsa. I also make a really awesome cheesy sauce that I'll throw on there, but that's a little more labor intensive, so you can leave that out if it's a quick meal. I make tacos in like 5 minutes when I'm in a rush, so those are definitely my go-to.
So what are some ways that when people work with you that you help them transition to whole food plant-based? So what would be kind of the next stage? So people can say, oh, that didn't sound so hard, you know, but what would come next?
So right now I'm actually helping a local family, and I'm going to their house. I'm kind of counseling them, or coaching them would be a better word, going through their pantry, kind of teaching them how to read labels and what to look out for, because a lot of the marketing on packages is really aggressive and really misleading. So reading labels is extremely important, and not just looking at the fat content or the sugar, actually reading the ingredients and understanding where the food is coming from. So that's a huge thing that I've been doing. Then once like breakfast is kind of down, just finding a couple meals that are really easy to throw together for a family, especially a family. There's so many different people with different tastes and needs. So finding like some key meals that they can reuse over and over is definitely the next step.
So I heard you give 3 great tips today on transitioning to a whole food plant-based diet. Start with something easy like breakfasts. Find a favorite meal that is versatile, flexible, can be changed up, but still is a family favorite, such as tacos, and start reading labels. And certainly I went through that process myself. So Chloe, I know I'm going to have you back as a guest to talk about vegan business and some of these other areas that are so interesting. But I'm going to wrap up today on those great 3 tips and give you an opportunity to share with people how they can follow you, connect with you. I mean, certainly you and I connected through Instagram, but now we also chat through Facebook, and how they can find you. So share ways that they can find you.
Absolutely. So before I do that, I just want to real quick wrap up the concept of whole foods nutrition. So I get a lot of questions about specifically like protein and how much fat should I have and all this stuff. And I don't worry about any of that stuff. I just worry about getting my nutrition from whole foods, because focusing on something like protein, let's say, is not, it doesn't encompass everything, because if you're only focusing on one ingredient, you're forgetting about, or one nutrient, you're forgetting about thousands of potential phytonutrients and fiber and all these other things that a whole food contains. So let's say I get this question all the time, like, well, I need chicken because of protein. And I'm like, okay, there might be protein there, but you're also getting cholesterol and saturated fat and IGF-1, which is insulin-like growth factor 1, and all these other things. So we have to start thinking about food as a whole, and it comes packaged as an apple or as broccoli, and that's where you're getting all the fiber and the phytonutrients, and there's protein in broccoli, but I don't think about that because I'm just worried about getting my nutrition from whole foods. Rather than going to a pill bottle or a supplement, my go-to is whole foods, and that's definitely what I hope people take away from today. And as for getting in touch with me, I'm on Instagram as Chloe's Clean Cuisine, and also have a Facebook page under the same name. I would love for anyone who has any questions to contact me. I feel like my mission in life is to help other people who are interested in just taking back their health from these companies that don't care about our health, and putting it in your hands so that you can make a difference and feel better ultimately, and not fall into the trap of all these diseases that are plaguing America. So definitely reach out to me with any questions. I would love to hear from you guys.
Thank you, Chloe. I was going to ask you for parting words, but you gave some really powerful ones. So, and thank you. You know, focusing on just protein as opposed to a whole food is like a runner just focusing on their quadriceps and leaving all their other leg muscles out of the picture. I mean, we're whole people, and whole foods feed the whole person. So I love that you included that in the message. So everybody, please go follow Chloe, and as well, please follow Modern Vegan Family by subscribing to our channel. We can also be found on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So Chloe, last words, last little words on food or to the viewer?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for having me, and it was a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
You'll be a guest again, don't worry. All right, everybody. Peace, love, and plants.